I'm calling the Cultural Commission meeting for March 25th, 2024 to order here at 5:32 p.m. April, it's March 25th.
That's for the old one.
April 22nd, 2024.
Thank
Director Moreno, if I can get it roll call.
Yes, Commissioner Fraser, present. Chair Hernandez,
Present.
Commissioner DA,
Present.
Commissioner Damiana, Commissioner Rudnicki, Commissioner Einberg, here, Commissioner Kozer.
Here. We have a quorum. Okay, next next thing on the agenda, approval of the agenda. Is there anything we need to add or remove from the agenda? No. In that case, I move that we go ahead and accept the agenda as is.
Second.
Can I go ahead and get all the people in favor say aye?
Aye.
All against say nay? Agenda approved. Do we have any staff announcements?
No, there was an email that was sent out to Commissioner Damiana and Rudnicki, I believe, about supplies needed for the Pride event. And I believe they responded to, I did it too, to Administrator McNabb. So I think we're all set for that.
Okay. In that case, we'll go ahead and move to the approval of minutes. I move that we go ahead and approve the minutes as stated. All those in favor say aye. All those against say nay. Motion passes. Does not look like we have any public comment, so we can get on with new business. And that will be the Plank Public Art Project submissions. Will I be leading that or will you?
If you give me just one moment, I'm gonna share the screen here.
All right. Why don't I ask before I go?
Here we are. Okay. So, these are the submissions we received. You all have had a chance to look them over, and we can start with Cristobal. Would you like to view the photos?
I will. It's big problems.
And I believe this is the artist that was able to just provide the artwork, but wasn't able to actually complete the work themselves.
The artwork is 4 separate panels, correct?
Mhm.
I saw that one. Wow.
And then, which of these would you like to look at?
We want to just go down the
Just
line.
keep going.
We also have copies of these. I believe they were sent to us as part of the.
Yes, they're part of the packet.
We can look at them in detail if necessary.
Mhm.
But this was just a standard resume.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah.
This is one thing that does concern me is that it's providing a design only and does not actually complete the creation of the planks. That was the design planks. I really love them. I would love to see them done, but we would definitely need to have someone do them. That said, we might have an answer to that later on with the third submission that we have. But I'm very happy with those, the designs that were shown to us. And I believe the 4 panel items. The big version.
Provide me context on what this is, other than what you might think it is.
I believe there's actually a thing that was Story of the Moon.
Story of the Moon.
Story of the Moon was one of the, I think there was a link on there that actually told us what that was.
I can scroll back.
Yeah, I believe it's at the top. Yeah, story of the moon. Oh, no, it was just.
And that's all that's opening up for me, yeah. And I understand, but still would like to know like what each of those means, I think that would be helpful.
Well, one of the things that we can do is we can definitely email the person back and say, well, can we have a narrative behind it just for our own information?
Absolutely.
And so that would actually be good to do this.
And is this a local artist? He's in North Bend. And is this an indigenous artist?
That's what I can open up, because I don't have that reader on my
Yeah,
computer.
This one right here.
mine wouldn't open the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I wouldn't have a problem emailing him and saying, hey, can we get some more background on this or having the staff do it?
Yeah.
Just for more information.
It's a beautiful design.
Yeah.
And this is really the point right now, but it'd be cool underneath newly installed plants to have like a short little synopsis. of the meeting, too.
Yeah,
So that was Cristobal. So I'll make that note to reach back out and ask about the narrative. So the next one is Dan Petro.
not gonna lie, big fan.
Mhm.
So this one was Raven and Son. Alan.
I believe those are just possible.
That's, yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's impressive.
Mhm.
That's the one over by Depot Park.
Walking down. And then these are the references.
And he's already done planks for us too, so. We know he can do the work. He's also the person who would make all the little, just guerrilla art up and down Novelty Hill.
Mhm.
You see the one that did the tree sprites?
Yep. One of the reasons why I stayed in Duvall, I couldn't ever see.
Those
Really?
Going up Noble Hill. You see it?
Yeah, every time a tree falls over a
Uh-huh.
big storm, he cuts it flat and does a wood carving on the end.
These are his passports, or or other past submissions, or these?
I believe that one is up. If it wasn't, it was one of the ones we selected before
Before what they,
taken away, so, I think that one's up, I don't know if they don't, remember. That was all happening at the same time.
It's not that one.
I think that's all these.
I'm a big fan of his work and what he's done, his proposals look really, really great.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna
Which
stop.
one of these are proposals?
I believe the ones are the Raven and Son column mover.
Mhm.
The other ones are
Two
press
out of four.
considerants. Sorry?
So it's just 2 out of 4?
Yeah, well, were they supposed to submit 4? Or were they supposed to just submit what they had?
I thought stuff that they had, not proposals, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, maybe I didn't read the.
He might also
Doesn't
be
make sense.
willing to do more too, but he's always loved opening for other artists as well.
So, Joe Lee Davidson also did planks in the past, and Commissioner Einberg was, gracious enough to go around and take some photos for us, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing so I can pull those up. Give me just 1 second. Mm. Oh, sorry. There's that one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what the title was.
Yeah, I think Joe Lee submitted last time around as well, and and again, it just fell apart, so I think everything went, was dead, we got forgotten, so.
That on the feed store,
Yeah.
That's right.
the other side of the sun was on it. So And that's a bench outside of City Hall. Yeah, good, you can be close, it's kind of.
Mhm.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Oh, that's lovely. I've never really stopped and looked at that bunch. That's a great something. I didn't either. There's always somebody sitting on, it, which ultimately is a good thing, but.
We know where that is.
And then that's the thing. So,
Those are quite awesome. So in total, we should have, with all these three, because if I remember right, that Jody Davidson didn't actually submit anything, just it was a letter that basically said, I would like to do the work, do you want me to do the work? So right now, we only have 6 submissions, I think, 4 from Cristobal Lopez and 2 from Dan Cottrell, which we probably, how many we're looking at? About 10, if I remember.
I thought it was 10.
10, yeah, so
Hey,
we still need at least, and pardon my math, because I'm terrible at it, we should have 4 more. What we might want to do is contact Jody Davidson and say, go ahead and send us a submission for what you would like to do. That way we can get all 10.
So each of those, people that sent them off had proposals.
I thought those were the
Were those ones they already did?
I thought when I read it, and I may be wrong, so
no.
none of these proposals, these are all just past works.
No, Dan, I think proposed the Raven one and the Allen Moon and the Raven and Sun.
Oh, okay, I just.
And the first one,
And then-
was proposing 4.
Yeah, and then Joe Lee said working on a design based on views, inspiration, Dory Farmstead, buildings, landscape, farm tools, etc. So they're giving some idea about what they're looking at.
Okay.
Right, now it's my belief that we are looking at sets of 4.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Okay, yeah, because we have 3 sets of 4 currently.
Sets of 4. So in that case, we would have 12 total, but we don't have proposals for 4 or 6 of them at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I think, and then I think a little clarification, I think a little clarification maybe with Cottrell and or with Davidson today. Well, plus the other 4 is not really, we don't really have an artist there. We don't really have a submittal, really.
Right.
We have an idea.
So
We have feasibility.
I'd suggest that for the first person, for Lopez, we definitely contact him and say, can we get the narrative? That'll be our 4 for him, please. With Dan Cottrell, we can say, hey, those look great. Those 2, we were really impressed with them. Would you like to do 2 more? Because we would like to set up 4. And then for the third person, we can say, yes, we're interested in your work. Please send us 4 submissions.
Yeah.
That'll give us 12 total.
Yeah.
Now, if we don't end up with that, we can deal with this in the next meeting. We can think about expanding. We kind of kept it to the valley. We may want to consider expanding it to either Western King County or the whole King County. Just expanding it out just to get more submissions to come. But I don't think we'll need to worry about that if we can get what we need from these 3. And in that case, we'll be on our way to actually building these things.
No,
No, we still need 7 other people.
7 other.
right, because if each artist does 1 set of 4, right, and I don't think we should have artists do more than 1 set of 4, just so we can have more diversity. So if you look at each of these as a potential set of 4, that's only 3.
Oh, so sorry, that was.
We're having 10 sets of 4.
We need 10 sets of
We need
4.
10.
I was thinking 10.
Yeah.
So,
You need 40 planks.
oh,
I think there's 1 set is 1.
yeah, that's not,
You're saying 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I'm saying 1 set is 1,
we need 10 sets of 4.
right,
And so we need 40 planks in total.
So each streetlight
I-
would have 4.
I don't think we need 40 planks. I'm not sure that's true.
Is that?
That's what we budgeted for.
Yeah, it was 40. I think, Administrator McNabb said there might have been a couple lost, so we might be at 38.
so 2 of the projects will need to have 3 rather than 4.
Oh, that makes
And
more
it's
sense.
stacked, so it's,
Well, 38 was the old.
I thought
That's
we
what
were,
I thought too.
Yeah.
We can roll with it.
Yeah.
I thought we were finishing that. We need more. So definitely, I would suggest, and we can all vote on this, that we probably expand the project out to either Western King County or the whole King County. Whichever you feel best, just to try and get more artists, and since we restricted it, and we know that there was at least some, some interest outside of the valley for this,
Right.
from one of the indigenous tribes. So,
Were they not able to apply that?
they were outside of the valley, so they wanted to, but we were.
Well, they were really limited geographically or just encouraged? I thought it was just preference.
I think we had kind of tiered it, where it was going to be in the valley.
But they didn't submit at all.
Yeah, they didn't submit.
They were added.
No,
I'm saying, yeah.
and, before the meeting, Director Moreno told me that there was some interest from the tribe, but they were outside of our geographical areas. We didn't push it. But I would actually, if we're out for, get a movement to actually expand that out to King County, expand the time frame for it, so we can get more submissions in. And see about getting more artists to do more work for us. We've got everyone in the valley who's going to submit, we might as well open that out and expand it out.
Well, I think a lot of artists maybe just missed it too.
That's-
Yeah, I mean, if I was on the committee, I had no idea this was going on.
Very true.
I think we need to.
Do we want to go ahead and resubmit without expanding to the county? To the valley, find other avenues? Want to do that first?
I don't know.
Trying to think, do we know where it was submitted? I know that I saw it on
Yes, we
Facebook.
sent it, yeah, it went through our social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it went out in the, utility billing. It's on our website, let's see where else.
Did we
Sent
contact,
it to the tribes, to our tribal contacts.
did we actually send any to the local newspapers like the?
I believe
the
there
valley
was,
newspapers?
yes, there was a press release. that was
Okay, it was a press release.
Mhm.
So do we want to actually just resubmit this and extend the time instead of expanding it to county?
I'd say expand to the county, but give preference to more local.
That's,
Yeah. Yeah, and then I would say contact the tribe then. Especially, it's,
and
So,
one other question, do you know how much did the people that actually selected make from doing 3 or 4 plants?
I want to say it was it
Last,
the last one, yeah,
I think each set was $5,000.
5,000 a piece or total?
total.
Total, okay.
so just to clarify, before I actually make a movement on this. We're wanting to expand the county and extend the deadline, or keep to the valley and extend the deadline? Or resubmit and extend the deadline, or a combination of all three? I did want to double check before I pitch it.
I like combination of all.
Yeah, I like combination of all three. We can keep like preferential,
Like two,
yeah, I think keeping the tiers in mind is, or something we keep in mind for judging.
Oh.
But we can open it up to the whole county and extend the deadline.
would you think 90 days is a good extension? 90 days?
Sure.
Yeah, depends on what you want to do. So just want to go back and double check. So there should be 20 sets, there's 10 poles. Front and back, that's 20 sets. That's 20
10.
pieces, or 20
20 plants.
20 designs, yeah, and they are two separate, right, top and bottom, but it's 20.
Were we doing 2 or 4? I think we were doing one back.
No, and again, there's only a certain amount of those poles that don't have art, so there's only like 5 of those that don't have art. That's what I'm saying, I think it really was like 10 or 20, I'd call it 10, some might call it 20, boards.
Let's get some clarification on that for the next meeting.
Yeah.
I know, I
We don't,
would, yeah.
fix that right
I'm
now.
on Google Earth, and I'm going through and say, oh, that one didn't have one, that one didn't have one, and, yeah, so there's the gateways at the north and south end, and then there's Cherry, Stella, Stewart. So there's the interior 3, and again, each one's double sided, it's only that many locations, front and back, actually 20 complete
Okay.
pieces, right, regardless of how many boards. Because actually before they were 2 boards made 1 half, so it was, a ton of boards.
Okay, in that
So-
case, we'll just find out exactly how many we need. We don't even know what we're exactly right now.
And we might not have as many as, we might not have a need to go back out, I guess what I'm getting at. Because if you have 2 complete sets or something else, or 4 complete sets from Jolie and from the Trail, and then you add the other one with their complete sets, you might have everything accounted for,
Sure.
perhaps. You still need a carver to execute the other one,
Mhm.
as long as you find somebody who's willing to take somebody else's art and
I believe the third submission mentioned that they were willing to do carpet. I believe.
Jody.
The third submission in their letter,
Yeah, Jill.
Yeah.
that he was willing to do carpet as well. Which I believe, might want to check up on that.
I don't think he said that. He does carve his own.
Oh,
Yeah, so Dan and Jody can actually design annex.
so in that case, I'd still like to have more submissions just so we have a choice. So I think that extending it out to another 90 days, getting their submissions back to us and republishing the call for artists would be great. I would rather have more than 20 than not enough of 20. So that, you know, some people won't get chosen and that's sad, but at the same time, we'll have everything we need at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead, if there's any, is there any further discussion?
Well, if we end up with more qualified people than we have blank space, we could consider putting planks in neighborhoods instead of just on Main Street, you know, and tie Duvall together.
Well, that's what we have money for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that'll cost money to make more planks if we have them, we could probably.
Something to take by the city council.
Do 20.
Yeah, and this call for artists could be extended to another budget year.
Mhm.
You've already satisfied a call, you said about satisfied competitive. Yeah, scope, that kind of thing. I just want to make sure I understand before we go any further that on the submittals, are we asking, we're not asking anything else of Dan, because again, every time you're going back to these folks, and they've already got an expectation, this is done, now you're gonna select. Jolie didn't turn in a period.
Right.
That, they need to give
No
us,
submission.
they need to give some kind of design, but Dan, I think, is satisfied that submittal requirements actually done a design, so maybe we just pause and say, hey, you two, we're still kind of working through, looking for some more submissions, but you're, you know, stay tuned. And here's kind of our revised, and then the only other thing I want to mention is just not sitting too long, because again, somebody like Dan, maybe Julie, you know, they're programming their year, and so they're looking at stuff, and so this opportunity was now. And again, if you wait too long, you might have them committed elsewhere.
So in that case, there's some options we can have for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. I'm a big fan of 90 days because I like to get the most information out. We do have a point there. But I'm up for, if you think that, y'all think that 30 or 60 is better, I'm happy to change my motion to that.
I think 60 is good.
60?
60, yeah.
And I agree, we send a notice saying, hey, you're in, you know, we're extending the deadline, won't get started yet, but.
So 60 days?
And I'd like to suggest we use something other than just the internet to advertise. I mean, the only reason Joey knew about this was I handed him a copy. He doesn't use the internet. He's an artist.
Trying to think where else we can use this. The only thing I can think of would be like television.
Creative Commons.
Or posters,
There's posters.
Posters.
radio show. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's the really,
Yeah, we have to look
the
at
Valley Radio.
the Valley Radio. We can put it on there as well. Yes.
Would somebody from the commission be willing to go on the show if we can make that connection?
Radio show.
I'm happy to see television. If I have the correct information. Then, and how many months, yeah.
I'd be willing to do it too, but I don't become the Hernandez show.
You would love if this became the Hernandez show.
Great.
Yeah, so posters were mentioned. Is there somewhere in particular that you're thinking just around town or?
Well, I've been advertising Arts in Bloom and been putting up posters. Redmond Ridge.
There's the notice,
Duvall here.
yeah, there's the notice board outside to do part of the family brochure,
Mhm.
there's the coffee shop.
The,
Florist across the street. all of them.
the Chevron has a notice board out front as well. Basically just plaster it anywhere everyone's willing to take it.
Duvall has one.
And the high school probably not, running.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Oh, the wood shop classes.
Wood shop and the art students, yeah. Lots of creativity there.
And maybe the, full length or the single moms place. I mean, let them know. Reach out to them.
Which place is that?
Oh, the whole thing.
Not exactly. It's hopefully to be good.
Eggs and diamonds.
So this is done, that's it. And I don't think I think they have like an office here in town where they'll take that information. When I was working with the census, I did a lot of canvassing distribution.
That's my source of things.
How long was the first call for artists out? Could you tell me?
I believe it was a month, or it was had to have more than a month. Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
And I'm not just trying to be disrespectful, but I just wouldn't want to extend that too long, so I would only recommend that we, and if you guys recommend that we extend the same period. That would be my minor motion of my revision, my revision.
So you're basically saying with for 30 days.
Yeah, whatever the original is, whether it's 30 or 45, I don't think it was 60 or 90.
Yeah, I don't think we decided.
No.
Setting that out.
That's much we did.
Yeah.
And,
I wanted
Just
just
stay
one
kind.
60 is a big problem.
yes.
Other 45 is also
In 2 months.
Does anyone want to volunteer? Sorry, I was just gonna say, so it looks like we posted on our website on December 12th, and it says application deadline April 1st.
December 12th. Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
December 12th, wow. All right, well, never mind. I take that back. Yeah, it's like,
You had a comment.
it's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
does anyone want to volunteer to put together posters for this and put them up?
I'll put them up. I can't help design.
Yeah, I might be able to put them up, but you don't want to design.
I can put together the design.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be willing to help with this. The joys of having 2 graphic designers. All right, in that case, I'll go ahead and move that we extend the deadline 60 days. Just to get more submissions in. Is there a second?
10 seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
That means.
All against, say nay. Motion passed. Oh, yes.
sorry, Chair Hernandez, the original motion I had written down was to also expand the call for to
Oh.
King County and, give preference to locals.
Okay, and I forgot about that because I figured we had actually decided not to expand it out.
I think we should,
No.
We should expand it out?
I think we should.
in the preference.
Okay, yeah, definitely the preference. Okay, in that case, we'll go ahead and redo it now, and I'll move to expand the deadline for 60 days, expand the geographical area to King County, and to keep the tier position that we have, making sure that indigenous are at the top, valley artists are in the second, and everyone else is third at this point.
Snohomish County, that's right.
I'm sorry?
How about Snohomish County? It's only,
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna keep it in King because we're in King, but Snohomish is literally 2 miles up the way.
I thought we're doing local indigenous. Or the local one indigenous not equal weight.
I would prefer indigenous over King. Obviously, that's my personal preference. If anyone else has a different preference, we can go for that as well.
I
Yes.
would go local.
Local preference. Anyone else have a preference?
For local for for the same.
I don't think we have to vote. If there are just enough people who want local first, I'll go with it. So we're gonna do local first, indigenous, and everyone else after that.
That would be local and then.
Yeah, that would be a good option.
Okay, so local and indigenous together is the first tier. Everyone else is the second. You're now adding things to this actually, right? Yeah.
Well, and or, right? That way you don't confuse them.
That's true.
And birthdays and dates.
So we're expanding it just to make sure we've got everything, expanding it to 60 days. To the whole county. Now, do we want to have Snohomish County in that as their nearby?
Part of the valley, so I could say, yeah.
yeah, it is part of the balance.
Is there going to be an issue?
The road was in it before.
Oh,
Is there going to be an issue with the city contacting any municipality or any artists outside the county? Is there an issue with that?
Not that I believe so.
Oh, so not a problem. We'll go ahead and add some Snohomish.
To figure out how to do
Or maybe just, and that would be.
But that was the original.
Yeah, the original target was the Duvall.
Okay.
In this case, we're expanding that, can't just get more artists, but if we want to do Snohomish as well, we can go ahead and do that as well. So 60 days, tiered local and or indigenous, King and Snohomish counties, and everyone else. There was a third condition, I cannot remember what we put.
Oh, opening it to King County and Snohomish County.
Right, that's,
Right. We.
Okay.
That's
that's what it was. All right, so. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, because this is a lot of stuff on here. I'd like to motion, or make a movement that we extend the deadline for the plank project for 60 days. Expand the geographical locations to King and Snohomish County. And create a tier system that will be local and or indigenous at the top, King and Snohomish under that, and then everyone else as a third.
Indigenous.
Did I say indigenous?
Yeah.
Not,
Okay.
oh,
Tier one is,
Local and indigenous.
Local
Yeah.
or, yeah.
tier one is local and or indigenous.
okay.
2 is King and Snohomish counties, and 3 is everyone else. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. All in favor, say nay. All against, say nay. That's how confused I am. All against, say nay. Motion yes. Motion passes. This, I was told there would be no map when I joined this commission. All right. So our next order of business, the report to council. So, did you have anything for that before I spoke on?
No, just that it has been.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a report to the city council coming up on, I believe it is May 7th, about what we have done so far. I plan to be giving that report. I will need help with PowerPoint, that I believe you've done volunteer for. Is there anything that you would like me to highlight? Essentially, I'm going to just do a rundown of the timeline of what we have done so far, what we are planning to do, and the number one thing that we need to, which is going to be third, so because I'd rather go through our timeline first, is how are we going to be looking to the future for the biennial art plan, which is really what the city council is interested in. So, with one being the timeline, that's pretty simple. Second, are there any highlights that you would like us to point out?
The signage is pretty cool, the park signage, I mean, I don't know where that's gonna go exactly yet. I mean, the effort that you did to create a lot of those options, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's our strange. We got the private wall.
Pride walls back up, so we can do that as well. I just saw the framework for it out on City Hall.
Right along in the same spot.
No, it's going to be on the site of City Hall. Any other items, which I believe this is really the main two that we've done so far.
The only other thing would be maybe kind of hinting at the Scott Cup cute, or whatever we're gonna call it. Bob, I mean, I think that's just another what's coming next type of thing, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you need to. Push that along.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a community input session.
Oh, that's right, we're doing that as well.
Yeah, especially at a. Yeah.
The community. effort.
In the future murals.
Is that May
I think that's gonna be under the future stuff.
13th?
I don't think there's a lot to do.
I also think the community input would probably,
May 13th, not the 7th.
May 13th is the community.
The community thing.
Oh, you.
yeah, the 7th is the report. Anything further on this? In that case, I will take the notes for that. What I will do is I will basically set up an outline that I plan to give to them. We'll have a PowerPoint presentation fairly shortly after I write that outline. I will give it to Director Moreno, who will send it to the rest of us. Just give you a general approval, or if you want anything changed or edited. And we'll do that. We'll try to get that done before the 7th, where I'm going to be terrified and speak to the city. I'm not actually terrified. I just am bad at public speaking. Unless someone else would like to do the speech.
You're in public.
I know. And it's recorded, but that's okay.
How about
It'd be great.
posters?
That'd be great, I'm sorry.
How about posters for the plank? When are we gonna start working on
I can put that under we are doing the planks kind of a coming soon kind of thing. And we can mention that we're gonna be doing the posters for that. Okay, any further discussion on this?
For the future, we should definitely talk about the murals, because I don't think we're gonna get them done in this session.
Okay. I kind of already have it set up for the future, including the community input, because that's kind of, they're joining in there. In that case, that's what I will do, and like I said, I'll give you all a copy of my outline, and give you a copy of the PowerPoint that's done. Try to get that done pretty quickly, because it is next week that I will be doing this, so. And it is next week, isn't it? Or is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. So we'll deal with that. I'll get that to you as quick as I can.
Email me, we'll figure out a time to sit down together and work with an outline, PowerPoint.
No problem.
And can we just circle back to the posters for the, call for artists for the plant project? When should we have those out?
As soon as possible. That may actually be something we want to do when we do the PowerPoint. Consider mocking something up and then again, sending it to all of us and saying, we're okay with this and sending it out.
it? The sooner they're posted in the community, the more people know.
Yeah.
Although we've got 90 days.
Director Murray.
And we can issue the call again prior to that and then just, add on the posters. So we don't have to wait to put the call out again. So we can do another, social media run and do all those steps. And then once you get the poster, you can let me know and then we can
Okay,
work.
and
on
I'll
it.
try to get that done alongside the PowerPoint presentation, just give everything to you all as we get it. All right, anything further?
I was just gonna offer to help with content, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is, I can do PowerPoint, it's just I'm a Linux user. Apparently the Linux version doesn't work with us, so. And Crystal does really good PowerPoint presentations. But on top of that, I am writing an outline, so I will have that outline out to you all sooner than the posters of the PowerPoint. We can add media there, we can add anything. Just make sure that it's not a reply to all, but it's going back to Director Moreno, so we don't turn that into a rolling meeting.
We might do that, right?
I'm sorry?
You know, we have an appointment, right?
Yes. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it.
It's not doing PowerPoint on a tablet, terrifies me.
I've got a solution.
What you have now, should.
Yeah. If there's no further discussion. Alright, we'll move on to the park name, or the park naming point person. We had started this in our last meeting. Unfortunately, we were missing 3 people, so we decided to table it to now. We're only missing Commissioner Nikki at this point. But basically, it boils down to for those of you who weren't here, this would be a point person to speak with various tribes in the area, try to get them involved with the cultural commission on a more personable level. Instead of going through different departments, we could do it directly. This would allow us to talk to them directly on the commission and get their feedback directly, or they can come, be invited to come do public comment, just like anyone else. This would be a point person to speak with them. This is a position that I would prefer a volunteer for. And if not, we can actually do a vote and decide whether a point person is even necessary, and so we can think about assigning someone. We are missing Counselor Nikki though, however, so I don't know if we want to do that, if we want to table this again.
And
She was very interested in
she
it.
was interested, and I'm also interested, but as a white woman, I floated that maybe I were more of an assistant. We did miss the April 15th coffee meeting because we missed, so I feel like we're already a little behind where we might otherwise be.
Do we want to go ahead and take a volunteer, if not then table it?
Well, can we volunteer, Commissioner Nikki, even though she's not here? Because I believe it is her intent to.
And I will be honest, I would like to do that. We can volunteer something necessary.
We can also just email her and if she's interested in accepting it.
She expect, she She said she wanted to do it last time, but she didn't want to do it with 20 people.
Mhm.
This is, so I'm gonna nominate her.
Let's go ahead then, and let's just hold a vote for who would prefer as a point person for this. Yes.
Can I say, just to cover her butts, because she's not here. I say we nominate Commissioner Brutnicki and nominate Commissioner Damiana as a second, in case she rejects the position.
I like that.
Yeah. So then let's go ahead and we're gonna do a vote for a first and a second, we'll do the second first. And all in favor of, voting for, first off, is there any volunteer who wants to be a second? All in favor of having Counselor or Commissioner Damiana as the second point person for this position? Say aye. Any against? Motion passes. Now, the second vote. The second vote will be, does anyone want to volunteer for the primary position? Does anyone have any suggestions for someone to run the primary position?
I'd like to nominate, Commissioner Brutnicki.
All in favor of that, say aye. All against, say nay.
We didn't second.
This wasn't a motion though. This is just a personal vote to decide who's going to do things. This is, as far as I know, this is just kind of us talking. So, Councilor Berdicki has decided to be the, or has decided, has been decided to be our point person. To make it official, because you did bring up a good point, I'm going to move that we go ahead and have Commissioner Damiana as our second point person and Commissioner Berdicki as our primary point person when speaking with Indigenous tribes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes.
Okay, didn't get a second.
Should I do that again? I'd like to make a motion.
Second.
Second. I'd like to make the same motion as before. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. Motion passes.
It's official.
It's official now. It only takes one missed meeting to start forgetting these rules.
No backsies.
No backsies, yeah. At this point, we don't have any further business. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order? No? All right, then I would like to go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 6:15 PM. Thanks for coming.
Aye.